Calling all aquarists! Stop doing water changes and letting liquid plant gold go down the drain. Was that good? Weird? Awkward? Yeah. A couple years back, my man and I started a business just selling our wastewater from our aquariums around our home and fortifying it with additional nutrients, since we have plants in nearly every tank we maintain, and we basically bottled it and started selling it to the local community. So today's video is all about how to make some extra money in maintaining a freshwater aquarium like the one behind me. Now, this type of business isn't something that you're gonna get rich overnight doing, but it is a great side hustle. If you have a fish tank, you know how easily it is for nitrates to build up in your aquarium. To help with not doing as many water changes, people will often add aquatic plants to their fish tank, like right here. And the plants will use the fish waste for food and create a symbiotic relationship with the fish as they pretty much purify the water and help balance what is toxic to the fish. So the fish create waste, the plants consume the waste, and the water is nice and clean. But that's not exactly a perfect solution. Unless your tank is perfectly balanced, you'll still need to do water changes. And what typically happens is most will do a water change. They'll put their pump inside the tank and then they'll drain the water out, pour it down the drain, and then fill it back up with tap water, unless you're on a well, and then use some kind of water conditioner to dechlorinate the water. And the cycle starts all over again. The fish will create waste, the plants will absorb it. Sometimes the fish will create excess waste, and that's when you need to do your water change, because the plants basically can't keep up with the amount of waste that's being produced. But what if I told you when you're doing that water change, you are literally throwing away money and pouring liquid plant gold down the drain? Terrestrial plants have the same nutrient requirements as aquatic plants, and if you've been in the aquarium or gardening hobby for some time, you know how expensive fertilizers can be, but also how they're significantly increasing in price over the last couple years. Fish tank water is a perfect all-in-one odorless plant fertilizer that contains the perfect balance of nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, trace minerals, just to name a few things. And really, if you have a tank stocked with biodiversity with things like fish, worms, snails, shrimps, copepods, just to name a few things, there's so many other things that you can keep in a freshwater aquarium, then really you've created an ecosystem filled with waste byproducts that would be the ideal fertilizer for plants, whether it's inside your home or outside of your home, but definitely outside of your tank. The awesome part about this is when you take that fish tank water and you then use it on soil, you're creating a biodiverse waste product, which will then help encourage the life that lives in the soil and the microbiome that we need and is essential for all life. We started selling our fortified wastewater to the community and actually created a nice little side hustle that not only helped us and our family, but is also helping the local community in more ways than one. It's helping people that aren't familiar with what kind of nutrients a plant needs keep plants in their own home, but it's also encouraging biodiversity in our local ecosystems. We sell 3 different size containers. We sell a 1 gallon container, a 2.6 gallon container and a 5-gallon container made by the company Smart Bottle. And over time we found that we could actually continue to reuse those bottles. So we started a recycle program, especially since I'm really not big on using plastic, considering a lot of it doesn't actually get recycled when you put it in the recycle bin. For me, it was really important to continue to use those bags over and over until we couldn't anymore. So we weren't using it as a single-use plastic. We started the recycle program for our customers. On first-time new customers, we charge $25 for a 5-gallon. We charge $15 for a 2.6 gallon, and we charge $10 for a 1-gallon. As an incentive to bring back old bags, we ask our returning customers to save the bags from their previous order, and when they bring them back, we'll actually exchange for new tonic bags, and we will offer them a discount. So for a 5-gallon of a returning customer, we charge $20. For a returning customer on a 2.6 gallon, we charge $12. And for a 1-gallon, we charge $5. This helps reward our current existing returning customers, as well as save on costs for us in the future on ordering bags. Because all of our aquariums are planted in one form or another, we also make sure to fortify each bottle we sell with additional nutrients, which include things like iron, seaweed, magnesium, mycorrhiza, and that's just to ensure that each bottle has a level of consistency. Whenever I'm creating posts or talking to a customer about our plant tonic, I jokingly say we've got our plant tonic on tap, because our aquariums are well-established tanks that we've had up and running for several years. So at this point, especially like our goldfish tank, it's pretty much a well-aged, seasoned oak barrel that you would use to create a whiskey or a fine wine. I understand, however, it's not really obtainable for every household to maintain an aquarium and set up an aquaponic system. So this is a way you, as an aquarist or as an aquarium keeper of any capacity, could help those other community members so we can all continue to feed one another. Now you're going to want to consider 3 different things when using your fish tank water to wholesale to the public, as well as for your own food production. The first one is medication. It's inevitable at one point or another that you may encounter a disease, a parasite, and it's really important to consider what kind of medication you're using and if it's safe for human consumption. So if your fish is consuming it, you also have to consider that that will be in the excrement, which could then in turn affect anyone that consumes the byproducts of that product. We also make our own fish food because Dwayne and I prioritize input equals output. And what I mean by that is some fish foods actually say not safe for human consumption on the bottle. So it was really important for us that we knew exactly what ingredients we were feeding our fish, so we knew exactly what ingredients were going into our garden, which we were then harvesting and eating ourselves. If you're currently feeding fish food that you're not really familiar with the ingredients on, then I highly recommend you check out our video all about how we make our homemade fish food. We actually have a couple different videos. The more recent one, however, gives more detailed instructions on why we do certain things. There's pros and cons to using commercial dechlorinators that are fish safe, as well as using alternatives like absorbic acid or humic acid. That's actually a conversation Dwayne and I are constantly holding between one another, because he does favor the commercial dechlorinators, but I am completely against it because we use all of our fish tank water to water our outdoor garden, which we use for food production. I've not been able to find any documented, well-researched information that commercial dechlorinators are safe for human consumption, especially for things like and that's really because they're not meant to grow food. They're meant to keep fish safe, but not necessarily food edible for us to consume. And so that's really a big thing that you want to look out for. So how can you use fish tank water to water plants? We use it in our entire home. We use it for all of our indoor exotic plants, and we also use it for all of our outdoor garden beds where we grow things like tomatoes, peppers, beans, sunflowers, chamomile, the list goes on and on. So it's great for flowers, great for ornamental things, grass even, for your lawn. Pretty much any plant you can think of, just the same way plants thrive in an aquarium, like the one behind me. Plants outside of the aquarium, terrestrial plants, also thrive with the same nutrients and water requirements. Okay, so we primarily sell our plant tonic, which is what we call our fortified wastewater, in 3 different ways. We do free pickup, delivery for an additional $5. We also do markets or fairs, I guess you would call it. And then lastly, we sell directly to a local garden shop. We will market or advertise our product via Facebook Marketplace, as well as our Instagram account. Word of mouth and people praising our product has also been a great marketing strategy. People have been really happy with our product and continue to refer new business, which is awesome. So that's also something you can look forward to if you set up a business like this. I really hope this video can spark a conversation in the aquarist community, but also as well as the garden community. And just a random note, if you currently have an aquarium and you're interested in setting up a business with a similar model, definitely comment down below if you're interested in us selling you our dried fortified mix that we create. Dwayne always jokes around and tells me not to give away the recipe. He came up with it himself, so I have to respect that. But we would certainly be more than happy to sell the dried mix that we created so that you can have a similar success. And that really creates a rich, biodiverse, biodynamic product that we call our plant tonic. That's actually one of the reasons what made me decide to start a video like this one, because several people have messaged me asking if we ship our product, and that's just not something that's feasible because of the weight of water. If you think about how heavy a 5-gallon jug is, to ship something like that would just be astronomically high, and it wouldn't be profitable for us to do something like that. But it could potentially be profitable for us if this video was successful in teaching other people with freshwater aquariums how to set up a similar business model and create a product that can be sold within their own community. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you learned something or were inspired by the video itself to do something similar within your community. And as always, we invite you into our home by clicking that subscribe button, and we look forward to posting future content all about how we're fish keeping in our small suburban neighborhood.